Well, we thought coming into the Wimbledon championships, it was going to be Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic, I would say, versus the field. Well, the field is officially blown up. There is no field anymore. Most of the top seeds are out on the men's side in complete chaos. The latest victim is Jack Draper, the hope of Britain on the men's side, which he says was maybe a little misplaced this early in his career. So we're going to break that down, look at all the results from today, and look at the draws heading into round 3 in this round 2 recap on the slice presented by Betway. Wimbledon is so chaotic this year. So let's get into it. All right, welcome back to the show, folks. If you're new here, thanks for smashing the subscribe button and also checking us out on Instagram. Shout out, we just passed 10,000 followers on Instagram, so we put clips from the podcast there, all the other interactions we have in the tennis world. Wimbledon. I think I always forget every year that it's the most upset-bound tournament because grass is the least played on surface and players are the least familiar with it. It used to be the case where the big 3 would win every year because they were just the guys who knew how to play on it, especially Djokovic from 2020 to 2023, I guess, 3 years. Nobody else had any experience compared to him. So it was like him versus everyone because they didn't know how to play on grass. Now Carlos Alcaraz is obviously kind of the king of Wimbledon right now, but everyone's forgetting how to play on grass. Carlos forgot in the first round versus Fanini. I guess the only people that aren't forgetting are Sinner and Djokovic, who are absolutely cruising. And we'll look at that with the major path time on court. If you look at the time on court so far, this is interesting. With the 4 top players left, which I would say would be in no order, Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic, and Fritz. Sinner's at 3 hours and 28 minutes on court. Djokovic is at 5 hours and 6 minutes. Fritz is at 6 hours and 31 minutes, and Alcaraz is at 6 hours and 54 minutes. More than twice as long, or about exactly twice as long as Sinner through 2 matches. So keep an eye on that. Will that become a factor down the road if they play? I don't know. But what I do know is we had lots of matches on the go today, as we do every day. So let's take a peek at them. Djokovic crushes Dan Evans, no problem. 6-3, 6-2, 6 bagel. Thanks for coming out. Swiatek is through. Sinner's through. 6 breadsticks, 6-3 in an hour and 40 minutes. Andreeva through. Rybakina beats Zachary, and Marin Cilic beats Draper. So this was the match. I think I highlighted it. Don't say I didn't highlight that match. I said Cilic in the pre-tournament, in the draw preview, I said Cilic could be a problem for Draper. Cilic has been to the final, 2017, way more experienced on grass. And what Jack Draper said at the end, what I saw, he said, I know there's a lot of pressure on me. People talk about the pressure, but I really don't feel the pressure as much as just the inexperience playing on grass. I still am not that good at it. I haven't really ever found my best level on grass. I know I grew up here, but I play way more on hard court or clay on the tour. So he was seemed a little unbothered, I would say. Obviously, he doesn't like going out in the second round, but Marin Cilic is a vet, major winner, been to the many, at least 3 major finals, I think maybe more. So yeah, experience 1, and huge credit to Marin Cilic for coming back from injury yet again with his twitchy little serve routine. Bang, gets it. Huge player. One of the greats, if you think about it. Anyone that's won a major, I would say, is in that category. And he's there. So he takes out Jack Draper. The Brits will have to put their power on someone else. I can't remember. Emma Raducanu is going to be wearing that going forward. Demon Hour stays alive after dropping the first set versus Khazol. Krejcikova through. Dimitrov through Mute. Emma Navarro through. Sophia Kenin out, 28 seed. Tommy Paul out. Loses to Sebastian Offner. That hurts. He's 163 in the world. Tommy Paul, the 13th seed, goes down in 4. Looks like he won the first set easily, and then there's 3 tight sets that went the way of Offner. So that's a tough one for Paul. Jakub Mensik. Let's keep an eye on this. Jakub Mensik through to the third round. He hasn't had much success at majors in general. So I'm going to actually look that up live on the show. Because he plays Kaboli next, who Mensik is the higher ranked player. But I would like to see, he has a very short career in the majors. He's only been playing the majors since 2023. Obviously, he's still a baby. This is his first time past the first round at Wimbledon, second time playing. So he's into the third round, which is his best ever performance at a major. He's been into the third round actually 3 times before this. So this is his 4th trip to the third round. But Jakub Mensik, seemingly would have the game that can absolutely crush on the surface. So winners, 54 winners, 26 aces. Yeah. 26 aces, 4 sets. Okay. 80% first serve win. Dominant. Yeah. Dominant serving performance there. And he's going to be one to watch, I think. Yeah. Jakub Mensik. I like it. Compatriot Thomas Mahac falls to Holmgren in, look at that, 4 tie breaks out of 5 sets. That's a 4 hour and 39 match. That's big time. Holmgren wins. Gotta love it there. The underdog. Kaboli wins over Pennington Jones, and then our guy Felix Auger-Aliassime loses to Jan-Lennard Struff. This match went over 2 days, and yeah, you hate to see it for a guy because he won the first set and he was up in the second set tiebreak. I believe he was up 6-3, maybe even 6-2 in the second set tiebreak. Couldn't put it away. Had a ton of break points in the 4th set. After the next day they came back, he lost the 3rd set. I didn't see that. If you just go to, where do you see it here? Yeah, if you just go to the 4th set, break points 0 for 7 for Felix. So, I mean, it's tough when Jan-Lennard Struff's got such a big serve, but there's a few points there where Felix, I'm sure, would love to have those back. 8 aces for Struff in that set. Yeah, just in general, just break points 3 out of 13, 5 out of 14 for Struff. He came forward well, 66% at net. First serve in, wasn't winning enough on his serve there, 67%. Struff did a good job returning, obviously played a good match, but that's another disappointing exit for Felix Auger-Aliassime in the second round at Wimbledon. That's tough. So let's look at the draws. That's the results from today. Let's look at the draws on the men's side going into the third round now. We've got Sinner and Pablo Martinez, and all respect to Pablo Martinez, I believe that will be a chopping. Once again, for Sinner, I would guess 3 sets. It would be hard-pressed to see anything going beyond 3 sets, in my opinion. Dimitrov versus Offner. We thought it was going to be Dimitrov-Paul. It's Dimitrov-Offner. Dimitrov, good chance to get through to the 4th round to play Sinner, the ultimate chopping block. Shelton, not all these matches aren't done, I guess. A few of them haven't finished. Shelton, Hijikata, Fucsovics, Monfils. You could see Shelton, Monfils. That would be fun. Nakashima beats Opelka. He'll play Sonego. And we got Cilic versus Munar. And then Kaboli versus Mensik. I like that match. 15 versus 22 seed. Demonauer versus Holmgren. And Djokovic versus Kecmanovic. So Djokovic, first countryman, Kecmanovic. You got to think another solid win coming for Djokovic. Kecmanovic doesn't seem like the guy, especially on grass, who can hurt Djokovic. They know each other so well. It looks like we'll be seeing Demonauer versus Djokovic in the 4th round of Wimbledon, and we'll see if Demon can get some respect on his name there in the majors versus Djokovic. If we go to the bottom half, Fritz versus Davidovich Fokina, Darderi versus Thompson. Either Luciano Darderi or Jordan Thompson is going to the 4th round of Wimbledon. That's pretty amazing for them. Nuno Borges versus Khachanov. Marszalek versus Rinderknech, who's through, backs up his win over over Zverev with a win over Garin in 5 sets, coming back from 2 sets down to do it. No, I guess it was 2-all. Anyways, Nicholas Jarry destroys Lerner Tien, plays Fonseca next. Can Fonseca overcome the big serving Chilean? Pretty tough qualifier into the third round. Bellucci beats Lehechka and Nori beats Tiafo. So more seeds fall. Craziness. Bellucci versus Nori for a chance to go to the fourth round. Nori, maybe he's the British hope on the men's side now. I guess he is. Rublev through quietly through Rublev to play Mannarino, the qualifier. You'd love to see it back in the third round of Wimbledon. And you got Jan-Lennard Struff versus Alcaraz next. So Struff will be bringing the big power on the big court against Alcaraz, who I am assuming will have not much problem with it, but he's, he has to play. I can see him donating sets. Let's just say that. Not super uncommon, but Alcaraz, I do think will want to watch how much time he's spending on court. It is getting a little excessive. Let's go to the women's draw. That's the matchup. Sabalenka versus Raducanu. You gotta love it. Raducanu already beats a previous Wimbledon champion, 6-3, 6-3. Extremely impressive from Raducanu. She's playing Sabalenka. That's going to be a big time match. Sabalenka, Raducanu. Center court for sure. Can the Brit pull off the upset? She's pulled off many upsets before, but we'll have to wait and see. That's going to be crazy. Mertens versus Svitolina. All the seeds coming through. Bolter loses. The British hope. Bolter loses to Sierra, the lucky loser, who will go on to play Buxa, who beat the 22nd seed Vekic. Laura Sigmund beat Fernandez 6-2, 6-3. She'll play Madison Keys. Paolini out, 4th seed. Women's side, big seeds going down as well. Paolini out to Rakimova. That's got to be one of the greatest names ever. Noskova beats Liss. She's through the 30th seed. Chabdad Maya goes out to Galfi, who will play Anisimova, 13th seed. Daria Schneider goes out to parry the qualifier into the third round to play Kartal. Kruger goes out, and Osaka beats Siniakova to play Pavlian Chunkeva in the third round. Bottom half, Andreeva through to play Baptiste, who beat our lucky loser, Mboko from Canada. Krajikova through to play Navarro. There's a seeded match. Not a lot of them in the third round, both sides. Sonmez, a Tunisian, the new Tunisian maybe, versus Alexandrova. Bencic through to play Cacciaretto. And Swiatek through McNally after dropping the first set to play Danielle Collins. That's going to be a match. That's a match you're going to want to watch. Danielle, the Danimal Collins, playing Iga Swiatek. Can she get under her skin? My guess is yes. Clara Tauson, the 23rd seed, through to play Rybakina, the 11th seed. Sleeper favorite still there on the bottom to come out of the bottom, in my opinion. Kasatkina versus Samsonova. Buzaz Monero versus Yastremska. So, yeah, I would say Rybakina, Swiatek, 4th round on the bottom is crazy. The top half of the bottom is pretty wide open for Andreeva to make her best run at Wimbledon. So, I didn't have that on the. That's great. I didn't have that on there the whole time. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Andreeva, Baptiste. You can see it. Krajikova, Navarro. But what you can really see is Swiatek versus Collins, Tauson versus Rybakina to play each other. That's the bottom half there. The bottom quarter, Swiatek, Rybakina, big time. Top half, like I said earlier, this is the match. Sabalenka versus Raducanu. That is the marquee matchup, I think, of the third round for the women. So can't wait for that. That's going to be crazy. But, I mean, just chaos. So I think on the men's side, Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic, clear favorites. Sinner and Djokovic on the same half. Are they going to play? Fritz, can he make it to the semifinals to play Alcaraz? That's what'll get the Americans bricked up for sure, is Fritz going through. They'll be like, this is our guy. But I cannot imagine. I'm sorry, but I cannot imagine Taylor Fritz beating Carlos Alcaraz on this surface. But feel free, if that happens, to clip that and make me look like an idiot. But I just can't see it happening. And on the women's side, that Raducanu-Sabalenka match is just all-time big time. So anyways, what are your thoughts on all the upsets going down? Leave your thoughts below. That's the slice on the Wimbledon third round. I can't wait for the bigger matches to happen now, but a lot of the big guys are out. So it's just going to be cool to see the Cinderella runs that works out of this, because there's going to be some players who aren't used to being so deep at Wimbledon deep this year. That's all I can tell from this draw so far. So anyways, that's the slice. Thanks for being here. Subscribe, and we'll see you on Instagram. Thanks.